Hey everybody, welcome back to another installment of Otakubros Live here at the Omnibus Collectors Network. Gio here, and yeah, twice a month we like to hijack Omnibroslive and talk all about manga here on this channel. Thank you everybody for the support. Thank you for liking, commenting, of course being a part of this wonderful channel where we can geek out over our favorite collected editions. Thank you for subscribing and, of course, supporting Omnibroslive, Fangirlz Assemble, you know, all that good stuff. So for today, or tonight, depending on what time you're watching this video, we're going to be talking about sports manga. But here's my train of thought. March Madness, you know, all those sports team, sports manga. Genius! Sports have been a large part of the fandom when it comes to anime and manga, and I have to admit, I'm not a fan of sports. I mean, I do follow basketball and baseball and stuff like that from time to time. I'm in the know of what's happening, and I do like some teams and whatnot, but for the most part, I don't like following organized sports leagues and all that stuff. Simply because I don't care. It's as simple as that. But however, I love sports manga and anime. There's something about it. There's something very appealing about the idea of a story where you have the dramatic highs and lows, where you have athletes competing to be the best in the country and going through tournaments and regionals and nationals and championships, and the drama involved with sports lends itself pretty spectacularly to manga and anime. You can have a character who's an introvert who is coming out of his or her shell, and the way that sports facilitates that makes for a very compelling storyline, whether it be tennis or wrestling or soccer, basketball, baseball, football. If you want to read a story about a particular sport, there's probably a manga for it out there. But before we go too deep into this rabbit hole of sports manga and why I think it's so awesome, I do want to remind you of our wonderful sponsor. You can get most of these mangas that I'm going to talk about if you visit our sponsor's website, instocktrades.com, where you can get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. If you order $50 or more in your collected editions, guess what? You get free shipping. How about that, folks? Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging that you can only get when you visit instocktrades.com. So with that out of the way, sports manga, where the heck do we begin with that? I mean, just the idea alone that there's so many freaking titles out there. I'm not kidding. If there are bowling manga, there's probably golf, wrestling, American football, soccer, or football, however you want to say it. There is basketball, baseball, tennis, all those different sports. The one I wanted to highlight, that is Haikyuu. Here I have the first 2 seasons on Blu-ray, and this is one of Shonen Jump's longest running titles. The manga is still ongoing as of this video that you're watching, and it's about to wrap up. It's on its final arc, if I remember correctly, but I wanted to do a quick spotlight on it. Now, my history with volleyball is very limited. I played in high school. That's about it. For like an elective, school elective. I was never interested in organized sports or pursuing a career in any of that stuff. You know, you can probably tell. I was more into nerdy stuff. But regardless, I had a fun time, and I like the sport of volleyball. And Haikyuu is an excellent example of what a sports manga can do. We follow our main character, Shoujo Hinata. He's really not a large fellow. He's kind of short, but he's super fast, but he has a really epic ambition, and he wants to become like the best stellar volleyball player nationwide in Japan, following his idols and all that stuff. Unfortunately for him, growing up, he didn't have a school that he could practice his skills and all that stuff. If I remember correctly, the friends that he had weren't into volleyball, but they still helped him out, and he was able to conjure up a team basically and participate on a local exhibition tournament. It's been a while, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm missing on a few details, but he faces off against some real competitors. It turns out, of course, they lose spectacularly, and turns out I think it's a year or two later or something like that, when he enrolls in this high school who has a prestigious team that was a former ace team that everybody knew about, Karasuno, the Crows, and it's fallen from grace basically, and it's in shambles somewhat, and he wants to try out and be part of that team. Now, the plot twist, which I thought was pretty friggin' hilarious, is that on the previous match, when he was doing that exhibition round where his poorly constructed team got massacred by the opposing team, the star player called the king of the court, basically, Kageyama, they didn't really get along. Kageyama's very proud of who he is. He's also got some issues of his own, but we don't know that yet. But he's a very proud fella, and Hinata just, they didn't get along. Now, the plot twist being that Hinata says that he considers Kageyama his rival, but he ends up enrolling in the same school, so now they're teammates. And that teaches us a lot of things, because when you are playing sports, sometimes you're not going to face off against somebody that you hold a grudge against or something. Sometimes they're going to be your teammates, and you have to learn to cooperate and get along, because at the end of the day, it's sports. You know, there are rules, there are teams and regulations, and it's not a life or death situation. And I think it forces you as a protagonist and as a human being, as a person, or in this case for the manga as a main character, to see beyond that and accept the character, accept that rival for who he is, and try to set your differences aside and grow, mature, and become a better person for it. Of course, the other part has to do their thing as well. You know, it can't be one-sided, and it forces these two characters that they're not necessarily on the same talent level, but you know, you're forcing both sides to reconcile their differences and move beyond that for the goal of resurrecting this team to the former glory of the Crows and leading the path for this new team that's going to be built with this new energy, and just a very wholesome, awesome manga about friendship and sports. And if you love volleyball, you're gonna have a fun time. The way the panels and the action scenes for the actual game, they look fantastic, and if you're watching the anime, everything's so fluid and so awesome to look at. You're gonna have a fun time regardless if you know the rules about volleyball, because let's face it, it's a manga. They're gonna bend reality somewhat, especially when they're setting up a play and time freezes and you see what's going on in their heads and how the play's gonna play out, and it's really fun. It really gives you, and the same goes for the rest of the titles that I'm going to mention in this video, it really goes in depth and exploring the quirky nature of sports and how the rules are so different, and how that incorporates into the character and how he behaves. Of course, the rivalry with other schools and teams, potential love interest for certain characters, and I'm talking outside of Haikyuu, not necessarily not sticking to one title, but it's stuff like that. It's themes like that which are somewhat universal with the genre and the tropes, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. A lot of people enjoy that, and that's part of the charm and the uniqueness of sports in manga and anime, I think. For example, Big Wind-Up, which is an anime and manga about a rookie league baseball team that the pitcher, if I remember correctly, is the son of one of the school directors or something to that effect, and he is his teammates look down on him because they see like, oh, nepotism and favoritism and all that stuff, where our main character is shy and having a really tough time breaking through to people and being accepted by others, and the manga goes at length to teach its readers that you can get along with others, and it's when you work together you can accomplish greater things. Those are some of the themes I like. Some of the recommendations for sports manga that I can talk to you guys about that I think are going to be worth your time. You can check out the manga crossover Dear Boys, Ahiru no Sora, Harlem Beat, Kuroko no Basket, Real, and of course the champion of sports manga, one of the fan favorite, Slam Dunk. Written and illustrated by the famous Takahiko Inoue, this basketball manga follows the life of Hanamichi Sakuragi, a delinquent and leader of a gang. He is pretty unpopular with girls, having been rejected multiple times. In his first year at Shohoku High School, he meets the girl of his dreams, and she introduces him to the school's basketball team. Sakuragi, reluctant to join at first, dismisses the sport as a game for losers. Nonetheless, our protagonist gives it a go, and despite his temper and personality, proves to be a star athlete in the making and joins the team. Along the way, our lead character will realize that he loves the sport and will go on to compete with his teammates and their interesting stories, elevating the school's basketball team as a top contender. Slam Dunk has sold over 121 million copies in Japan alone, and back in 2010, Inoue received special commendations from the Japan Basketball Association for helping popularize basketball in Japan. If you want to get into baseball manga, Mr. Full Swing, Last Inning, Rookies, Good as Any, H2, Cross Game, Diamond Ace, and Big Wind-Up. Maybe tennis is more your thing. How about Prince of Tennis, or maybe Baby Steps? If you want to go with the soccer route, how about Whistle, Captain Tsubasa, Days, Giant Killing? Really, there's a lot of manga to choose from. If you want to go with boxing, of course, why not some Hajime no Ippo, classic staple of sports, anime, and manga. iShow 21, if you want to try out some North American football. If you want to go the cycling route, you got Yuwamushi Pedal. Really, the titles are freaking endless. There is a lot that you can do with sports manga, and some wonderful titles that I know that a lot of you like and love. So leave a comment down below with your favorite sports manga title. I'm very interested in finding out. And of course, if you play a real sports, how do they compare to the sport that you play? How is it, is it too different, or is it very similar? Of course, let me remind you once again that you can get all of these wonderful manga titles. Some might be a little bit difficult to find, others are readily available. If you are interested in Haikyuu, you can go to InStockTrades.com and pick them up. In-Stock Trades, or you can get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. If you order $50 or more in your collected editions order, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging that you can only get when you visit InStockTrades.com. Guys, thank you so very much for tuning in for this sports-themed recommendation show, I guess, here at the Omnibus Collectors Network. I am thankful, of course, for all the likes, comments, and subscribers that we have. We are nearing 4,000 subscribers. That's awesome. So keep it going. Recommend the channel. Share this video if you want. Just spread the word. This is an awesome hub for collectors and book lovers and readers and even anime watchers. Why the heck not, right? I'm very proud of this community that we've been able to build on this very niche subject, if you will. So thank you so much. Also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, where we share the news and post hauls and share collected editions. Also, if you want to share your manga collection or your regular graphic novel collection, comics, all that fun stuff, write to our email, omnibroslive@gmail.com. Send in your pictures and we will highlight them in a new segment on this channel when we do our live streams with the Omnibros and, of course, the Otakubros as well. Thank you, everybody, once again. Like, comment, subscribe. Remember to hit the notification bell so you know when new videos pop up. Although, I should remind you, you probably already know if you're a long-time subscriber, Omnibroslive, we're live Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays every week. And, of course, you can follow Fangirlz Assemble. They are typically live Sundays and Wednesdays. Go check them out. They are pretty freaking fantastic as well. I've got to go. I will catch all of you on our next live stream. Thank you, everybody.